the notice requirements of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and the implementing rules adopted by the board pursuant thereto were complied with for the meeting. Roll call.
Fullerton here.
Baroli here.
O'Neill here. Let's stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes for approval. Before anybody wants to motion on them, I'm not ready to approve anything from the September or the February 22nd meetings. I don't know if
I'm
anybody
okay
wants
with
to
that.
discuss either of those, but I would make the motion to approve the January 22nd meeting minutes, inclusive of the recent changes. I don't know if you got the recent one.
Gotcha.
Corson was spelled wrong in the first one, so those have been changed throughout. So.
No, I'm fine with that. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. January 22nd minutes are approved. Consent agenda. Has everybody received all of the department reports? And do we have any questions?
Not for me.
No, I'm good.
Justin? Motion to approve the fiscal report, fire district report, police report, service department report, and zoning report.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Approved. Okay. Fiscal, Laura, do you have anything?
The only thing I had was that Medina County Economic membership.
Yeah, the only thing that we talked about, or I don't know, you and I didn't get a chance to talk about, but it was up. It had been $1,500 a year prior. That fee is up to $1,800 this year. So, obviously it's a good program that, benefits the township in the sense that, we get to be involved in those discussions when they're out there. I don't have any issue with renewing our membership there, but with it being such a big change in dues, I wanted to bring it to the board for approval.
I would be okay with doing it too.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Aye for me too.
Me
Approve.
too.
Motion carries unanimous. Rick, service.
Only thing that I really had to talk about was I give you guys all the information on the carpet in the for the admin building down there in the conference room and the furniture for in there.
I've got the furniture one. I did not print out the carpet one. Do you have the,
Shame on you.
you have the cost for the carpet? I want to say it was
It's your lucky day.
4,600-ish.
$46.27.
Thank you. Any discussion?
This was out of the
This
planned
one
the planned ARPA funds
Correct.
for down there.
allocated for the admin building.
No, I do not have any discussions on that.
So that's going to bring the total to about, say, 11,700. I would make the motion to approve up to 11,700 for the carpet and the office furniture installation and delivery.
Up to 11.7, and Rick, where are we at right now? Did you say you had a rough idea of total on the project so far?
With everything all in, it'd be roughly right around, with everything, furniture,
So
carpet,
including this?
everything's
Okay.
gonna be like a total of 17,600.
Okay, okay. What you've done so far, you're still like around 6,000-7,000? Oh, excellent, okay. Yeah, I'm fine with, motion to approve, 11,700?
I motion
Or
second.
you already, okay, second, yeah.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Rick, you said 17.6 was what you thought.
Yeah.
Is that what I not said?
Yeah.
Yes,
Mine
that's
was
what he said.
17.6.
And we had originally appropriated, or you had originally.
30,
right?
so there's like 12.4 left. And then that finishes it, right?
Yeah, once
Yeah,
the carpet,
everything-
once the carpet gets in, it's all ready for carpet.
Yeah. You guys did a great job.
Absolutely.
Great
Okay, the
job.
next thing is, for the Ballish Road project, for the culvert repair on, culvert number 30. It's gonna be, they sent, the counties sent it out to bid. Dennis Concrete come back at $115,329. He was the lowest bid out of the three. And the OPWC will pay up to 77,000 of that. So that leaves us with roughly 38,000 to come up with on that road project.
Two questions, Rick. About what's the time frame and about how long will that road be closed?
45 days. It'll be closed 45 days. But it'll start sometime, there's not a for sure date when it'll start because they had to order the pipe. And it's gonna be in May sometime. So the starting time will be in May. Sometime in May. I can't tell you a date yet, but as we get closer, they'll be able to.
I would say we should be able to get
Yeah,
some lead time,
well-
it won't be, we're starting
Yeah,
tomorrow.
right, yeah.
Now, will you guys put the signs up, road to be closed, this date?
No,
blah, blah,
contract.
They do all that?
Yep. Yep, they're responsible for all the traffic control.
Well, you need to approve this resolution.
Yeah, do we have a motion to approve?
I would move to approve, resolution approving Dennis Concrete to do the Ballish Road culvert project at a cost of $115,000, $77,000 to be paid by OPWC grant that Rick got. Our total will be around $38,000.
I'll second.
Second, this will be a resolution. I don't remember the number. We'll add that. I think it's 10.
Yeah,
I do believe it's
10-2024.
Roll call vote. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Resolution passes.
Okay, and then the old paver and the roller that we have, the village of Doylestown is interested in purchasing that roller and that paver. We paid $5,000 for it. Yeah. I'd have to go back and get the exact date. I'm thinking it had to been 6, 7 years ago, somewhere in there. Or $5,000, and they'll purchase the roller and the paver for $4,000. And we've used that roller quite a bit.
Welded on that roller quite.
Well, we welded it back together several times, so.
I would motion to approve selling the paver and roller to Doylestown for $4,000.
We have no issue with the dollar amount,
Yeah, I don't think so. It's
meaning like we don't have to put it out to bid or.
I don't believe it's going to.
No, you're going to another
good entity.
entity.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Well, that's all I think that I got, unless you guys got something.
Not for me.
Nope.
Good?
I'm good.
Thank you, sir. Fire, chief?
Good evening. We had 49 calls in February. And we had 4 in Chatham Township, 1 in Harrisville Township, 29 in Lafayette, 2 in Montville, 6 in Chippewa Lake, 6 in Gloria Glens, and 1 in Lodi. Our average turnout time is 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and 5 minutes and 36 seconds to get on scene. We gave mutual aid to Chatham 4 times this past month, Harrisville Township 1 time, we gave mutual aid to Montville twice, and we auto-aided Lodi 1 time. So our department, along with Seville Fire Department, Westfield Fire Department, participated in Polar Plunge this past month on February 3rd, a wonderful event, raised money for the Lions Club of Chippewa Lake. It's also a great opportunity for us to train in cold water rescue techniques. We began our Fire Department Citizen Advisory Committee on February 7th. We had a great turnout and a wonderful discussion on the state of the fire department, how it operates, and our department concerns moving forward. And our next meeting will be held on March 21st, and we're going to do some presentations for the committee. We attended the EMA groundbreaking ceremony in Chippewa Lake on February 22nd, and we'll be assisting in storing some of their equipment until their new facility is built, so you'll see those trailers out there in the back if you haven't noticed. Our pancake breakfast is beginning every Sunday in April, so don't forget about that. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Kelly Parker is doing outstanding work in her Firefighter 1 class. Tonight she texted me, she got a 97.5 on her midterm. She probably mad at me for telling me that, but she is doing great work, so veterinary into firefighter, which is awesome. So. Andrew Berger, Alex Thomas, and Allison Javos finished their fire officer course, Fire Officer 1 course, and they're moving on to Fire Officer 2 course with the University of Akron. Myself, Cody Uniac, Christian Hall, and Ben Grega attended a 3-day seminar on foundational leadership from the Ohio Fire Chiefs. This course is based off of John Maxwell's book, 21-Year Feeble Laws of Leadership. A great course that provides wonderful insight into your leadership strengths and weaknesses. And Elizabeth Summers completed her paramedic certification, and now she's a nationally registered paramedic. So we got an extra paramedic on our roster now. So. We have been notified that we received $5,700 for the training reimbursement grant from the State Fire Marshal. We've also been awarded $500 to a Tarma Moore grant and $1,000 to a Tarma Police and Fire grant. Currently working with Chief Seifert on a joint assistance to firefighter grant for turnout gear with Seville. So Seville and Lafayette are going to kind of work on this grant together. And we're applying for the TC Energy grant this month for gas detection equipment. Our mutual aid Mavis boxes have been updated. This has been an ongoing project for the past several months. This will enable us to provide the best possible outcomes on larger incidents. We've installed field ops on our department iPads. This will reduce radio traffic and assist us in managing larger incidents. Our tanker pump has now been fixed. 2 valves needed to be completely replaced. That 1 valve was recently rebuilt. So. And Jessica White has submitted her resignation. She has been a member of the fire department for 4 years. She is moving with her fiance to Arkansas and heading off to physician assistant school. So she's an outstanding young lady, and we're really going to miss her. Her last day will be March 20th, so we'll need a resolution to accept her resignation eventually. So, and we interviewed Noah Gamble, an outstanding young man who lives in Montville Township. He's a firefighter level 1 EMT. He's completing his firefighter 2 in the spring. And the Career Center actually is paying for it through the Medina City Schools program, so he's gonna get a free firefighter too, and then he's going on to paramedic school, so, in the fall, so we'll have another paramedic in about a year, so. And we're also interviewing 2 more candidates in the next few weeks, so. And then, kind of my action items, so the resignation acceptance of Jessica White, and the approval of hiring Noah Gamble, and then I got some things I gotta ask you guys.
I would make a motion that we accept the resignation of Jessica White, effective March.
March 20th is what she put in her email.
As much as I don't want to hear that,
Yeah.
I will second that.
I would say that it's regretful.
I'm hoping she comes back in the fall, in the summers when she's in the middle of vacation for PA school, but that PA school is pretty tough. So I don't
Some
know.
downtime.
I've
run
tried,
some
but
calls.
I'm still working on it.
So. And then Noah Gamble, I gave the paperwork to Laura, great young kid from Montville. I think he's gonna do good work here.
Don't let them jump your gun to vote on Jessica.
Let's vote.
Oh,
on-
I'm sorry.
on
You're okay,
The
Brad.
resignation of Jessica White. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And I'll move to approve the hiring of Noah Gamble.
Do we complete a background check? I
Yeah,
mean,
so his
just
background,
full-
pending, I would say pending
Pending
his
his
background
background
check.
check.
So he did get his background check done, it's not back to us yet, but I don't see a 20-year-old kid that's really nice and really having any significant issues, but yeah,
Always
we'll
good to-
we'll make sure,
yeah.
and that will be pending his background check.
Yeah, I'll second.
Got it.
So, motion to approve the hiring of Noah Gamble. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And then the sign situation, we've been working on the Brilliant sign, optic, the sign out front of our fire station. We'd like to upgrade that. So the upgrade would cost $4,098 using ARPA funds. That includes a data, but then there's a data plan that's included that unfortunately the actual company never billed us.
Cool.
So they finally billed us, so it's $585 for the data plan. The upgrade would be $195 a year after that $585 is paid, so. It's $195 a year or a lifetime data plan of $1,850. I would stay clear of the 7-year, it would be 7 years of data. I think technology moves so quickly, I don't think it's a good idea to pay a upfront data. I don't know, it's up to you guys, so. That's just my thought.
They might not invoice a second time.
Right, or maybe they won't invoice us.
Well, if we're getting a lifetime,
So lifetime would be 7 years.
retroactively. Oh.
Yeah, no, lifetime would be 7 years, and it'd be $1,850.
My only question, if we're planning on using ARPA funds, did we get any word on whether we can use ARPA funds for the
Yeah,
building?
Actually, the prosecutor office called me back today. Finally, I've been waiting a couple days, but that's okay. They're busy. And yes, my clients did agree that we can do that.
Okay. Can we get it,
For
can we get it, put
building.
it in writing?
Oh, yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna do that. My only question, the 585, does that cover the first year and then 195, or am I adding 195 onto that as well?
You have to add the 195 after the 585. The 585 is our outstanding balance.
Okay.
And that's the company's fault, it's not a fault of ours. They admit it, they're like, we never billed you.
Good.
So,
We're not gonna pay it either.
right.
Well, we appropriated 5,000 to fix it, and it's coming up to $4,878, so at least we're under that, so,
And it'll be paid from the township ARPA funds?
yeah. Yep.
And that'll give you access, multiple access users or multiple users on that plan. Right now, we only have the one, so.
Do we know how many, or are we
I
gonna
think
have
there's
flexibility to?
Flexibility
Okay.
to add users.
You see there's no limit to that? I mean, we could.
I don't believe so. At least what I understood was there's no limit to, you could have as many users.
Cause it's cloud-based,
Right,
versus being
yes.
specific to a
Yep.
terminal like the current system.
Right, and I believe you can do it on your phone even,
Okay.
is kind of the thought, so.
So I would move to approve Brilliant Electric Sign to upgrade our sign out front by the road for a total of $4,878 using ARPA funds.
A second?
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So the next item, Spielman Electric proposal. We have 4 lights in our parking lot that are out or malfunctioning, and the flagpole light is malfunctioning. The quote on that is $5,615 they're out of warranty, they have to replace the fixtures. So there's 4 fixtures and the flagpole light. What the quote is.
I would say that it needs to be fixed, is for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
especially if we've got a flagpole right now. Is there another competitor? I mean, we've used Spielman here traditionally.
Spielman's who
They
put
install them,
they
right?
installed the lights, so they checked for warranty, make sure if they had a warranty, that's why it took so long to kind of get us. They were checking to see if any of those lights were under warranty. They're not anymore, so they have to replace them.
And what they're replacing with, did they have the warranty information on there, like, so we're not running into this problem again in 2-3 years?
It just says 4 to 6 week lead time.
I mean,
No,
obviously, it's a safety issue that we need to address,
Right.
but, you know, the question, like you brought up, you know, is the price competitive, and what kind of warranty are we getting on future defects or failures? Because it's not like these lights are that old, so.
right.
I know. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I don't see anything about a warranty in here.
Yeah, I don't see it.
So we could at least find out about that, I mean, I don't necessarily know that we need to hold up on that, but.
Approved?
What do we got for it? I'll move to approve the 5615 for Spielman Electric to repair and replace the lights.
Yeah, I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And the last, well, a couple more things. So striker service contract proposal, you guys had a chance to review that?
He's taking all my new business, but
Yeah.
that's
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry, is that new
No,
business?
let's roll,
Since you're-
Brian.
Oh,
I
I'm
like the
sorry.
way you roll. Let's
I like
just
the
do
roll.
it.
My bad.
No, it ain't. It's all good.
I think Lieutenant Markham's getting angry at you, but
It's
Not at all, are you
really
kidding?
nice. He's gonna tase me. On the way back to this.
Brian, can you explain to everyone what
Right.
Stryker is?
Yes.
Why it's important to have them? And we did budget
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
this.
so I did
It's in
budget.
the budget.
I budgeted for this year. It's needed to continue to have working order equipment, including cots, load systems, battery maintenance, and repair for both stair chair. So cot maintenance, load systems, which are, if you've seen our ambulances, they have it's all battery powered. Those load systems are very expensive, probably $30,000 to replace one. To keep the upkeep on those are also expensive, and the batteries are expensive. For example, this battery is for the Lucas device. It's a CPR assistance device. We use it for CPR. This is a dead battery. It's no good anymore. It's gonna cost us $769 to fix it. With this contract, we get 4 batteries replaced every year. They give us the batteries, so we don't have to buy them or purchase them, so. It's the cot, the load system, the monitor defibrillator, so batteries for those as well. Stair chairs, maintenance and repairs on those. We had a broken wheel on one of our stair chairs. The maintenance or repairs for that would be within the service contract, depending on if we ran it over with a fire truck, probably not covered. But if we put it in the back of an ambulance and the wheel fell off, or they would repair that and fix that for us. So does that make sense to everybody? So it's all those, the cot load system batteries, maintenance repair for both stair chair maintenance and repair, Lucas device batteries and maintenance repair, and defibrillators batteries maintenance and repairing, and including the maintenance and repair of our AEDs as well. So I really would like to have this. I know it's expensive, it's a cost, but it's been budgeted for this year, and I think it would help us keep our equipment in good working order for the future.
Well, we have one stair chair that's broke, we can't use it.
No, we fixed it.
Oh, you did fix
Yeah.
it, okay, good,
Well,
good.
part of this, and I don't know if they're gonna honor that, it's been a while, but they said if we do this service contract, they could probably retroactivate this and say, okay, we fixed your stair chair under this current service contract.
And replacing one of those units, just to put you on the spot, you
Yeah.
know, cost.
So a
If we
stair
were to do
chair,
a complete
a stair
replacement.
chair would cost about $10,000 right now. $8,000 to $10,000 is average. I have it in a slide presentation as well. It's the cot is about 18,000. The load system's about 30,000. So they're very expensive pieces of equipment. The defibrillator monitor is about $45,000 each to replace those. So hopefully we don't have to do any of those things. But
Well, this should help
yeah.
with having to do that,
Right.
not having to do that.
And it's, Brian, a 5-year,
So it's a 5-year, you could do yearly, the yearly is that, and then the 5-year, yes. It's a 5-year contract or proposal, I guess.
And this is the annual.
The annual is
charge
$12,459.
for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
But that rate's flat, plus guaranteed.
Stays the same, yes, sir.
that's for maintenance times 2 though, for 2 squads worth of equipment.
Yes, everything we have. Yes, it's everything that we have is in this proposal.
Right.
Every piece of Stryker equipment. The company we used to use was cheaper, but they don't have Stryker technicians anymore. They used to have Stryker technicians, but Stryker started a no-compete clause or whatever happened. They don't have technicians that are certified to work on this type of equipment.
And when you say the old contract was cheaper, do you remember what we were paying?
I don't remember exact offhand, but they didn't include the battery replacements and they only took care of the cot and the load system and defibrillators.
So not an apples to apples comparison. Okay.
Mm-mm. Not even close.
So every piece of Stryker equipment we have is in this proposal.
I think it sounds like a reasonable expense. I mean, we did budget for it, we planned on it. We'd be out, you know, if something did go wrong, so I would motion to approve, $12,459.20 for, the Stryker contract for 2024.
Yeah, I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I have a feeling he has more.
No, he just wanted, well,
He does.
the one thing,
Roll,
unless
roll.
it's new business, the Facebook, back to that conversation. I would like us to have a Facebook page that we could put out there. I would be solely responsible for that page and a designee. But I'd like us to be able to show the great things we're doing here to the community. And we don't have that currently in place.
I think that's a good idea too. I just want to stipulate that we're not going to have back and forth. If someone comments on a post of ours, what's the What's the reply gonna be?
So it'd be, please reach out to Chief Kavanaugh at PeteKavanaugh@LafayetteTownship.com. I guess, I mean, it's, I'd rather not have dialogue to a point, I mean, at all, so.
Well, and we're perfectly okay and well within our rights to do that. If he wants to run a social media page, and I'll kind of jump in, I'll email this to you guys as well, but I made copies for everybody. Probably, I'll email it to you, but there's some work that I put together on sample social media policies.
Oh, good.
And it's broken down, there's, the top part, those are all fellow townships, municipalities within the state of Ohio. So obviously operating under the same legal jurisdictions, or same, state laws. And then there's some other resources at the bottom as well. But yeah, we can definitely need to put together a social media policy, have something written, but we're well within our rights to, like, it can be just outward facing only.
Correct.
We don't have to allow any comments. But to your point, if we do, that it's kind of an all or nothing
Right.
decision that we have to make.
Yeah, you
So we need
can't
to
let
get
some
that-
of them do
right.
it, not others.
Right.
I'd rather just-
You do have some, the Ohio Township Association themselves has a very, very well-written social media comment policy as well that goes a little bit further, that does say speech that rises to hate speech or, potentially harmful, violent, there are certain criteria where you can, but again, you're now wading into that, we have to escalate it to the prosecutor's office, get them to weigh in if it's something that we can censor or not. So it probably isn't something that we need to do, but putting a policy in place is something we need to do before we launch it. But I've said it at the previous meetings, I think it's something that we definitely need to do and give Chief the opportunity to push that information out, so.
So are you wanting a policy before the chief launches it? Or just give chief and chief only waiting a policy?
Well, I looked into some of the stuff earlier too.
Okay.
It went into social media policies for employees and stuff like that. And I
That's
think
a
down the
different-
road, we do
in
need that
area
as
too,
well.
yeah.
But in interest of getting it going for chief, I would like to do a Facebook,
Okay.
approve a Facebook thing for him tonight with those restrictions that we discussed.
Chief only, no commenting.
I mean, if he wants to appoint somebody to
And I had a
update it,
person in
that's
mind to
fine.
help me, but it's Tara Powell, who's my community outreach coordinator.
Okay.
But I would approve every post that's out. So the posts come to me, she writes them, I go, text me,
Post out.
I approve them. Okay, go ahead and post that.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with that, so, move to authorize chief to create a township, fire district Facebook page, outbound only, and, under his sole supervision.
I'll second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Last thing for me,
No, you already said that.
I know, but my assistant chief just reminded me, there is a burn ban for the state of Ohio from March until October. No, April, May, I'm sorry, March, April, May, and then again back in October. September, October, so. October, November. So townships, unincorporated areas of the township, you can have a little bonfire, have some marshmallows or hot dogs next to it, but not giant inferno fires.
And that's 6A to 6P?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 6A to 6P. 6 p.m. After 6 p.m. you can burn,
Right.
but during the day.
Right, banned during the day.
But chief, not to put words in your mouth, but I guess we had a fire a week or so ago. You really gotta pay attention to the wind direction.
Yes. So yes, and absolutely. So depending on what the wind is doing and how bad the wind is, I'd be very cautious. So we almost had a barn burn down this past week, just from that wind. The fire was large, and it started blowing towards the barn, and it caught kind of the bottom part of the barn on fire a little bit, but we got it out pretty quick. So just be careful. Yard waste and debris, please don't burn that. It comes up and it burns and just keeps going. So recreational fires is what you want to see. So. I'm done.
Thanks, Chief.
since we're still on fire though, or just finishing up on fire, can we circle back real quick on the Spielman? Since we were under, are we able to use ARPA funds for that as well? Since it's the building property to help alleviate the strain on the
I was
fire
thinking the
budget?
same thing,
Especially
but-
since we came
At least
in
out of
under
the township
budget.
budget.
Right, out of the general fund as opposed to fire.
I would think we can. I mean,
Yeah.
this building is used as much for township business as it is. This end of the building is.
Well, I don't know if we need to amend that motion or make a motion, but I would, we
Well,
have to
we're
use up
gonna-
those ARPA funds anyway, and it'll help lessen the strain on the fire budget.
Yeah, because we said we would have roughly, until
Right.
Rick puts a super duper pen to it, around 12,400 left.
Yeah, this would be
And
not
then-
even half of that, so.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I would be okay to going back and amending that motion to say that the 5615 comes out of ARPA funds, specifically the 30,000 appropriated to the admin. Yeah, that's where the savings is going to be. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Still carries. Lieutenant?
Unless you have questions for me, I don't have anything
Nothing
in
else?
addition to the monthly report this month.
You guys have any questions?
Chief Kavanaugh, top floor.
I don't have any.
I think we did one of the ones.
paying him for it?
Maybe you better read it out.
Good job.
Sherry, zoning.
We've gotten off to a slow start this year. The total revenue for February is $2,662.96. We've had one agricultural exemption permit, and Medina County Park District got a permit, which we don't collect on. There's two properties right now I'm looking into. One's on Lafayette Road, one's on Chippewa Road. We talked about the Chippewa Road one at another meeting. Trustee Paroli drove by the Lafayette Road one today. I didn't think it was that bad, but it's worth looking into and watching.
No, and we've received complaints in the past about it, so.
There's three properties on Palker Road. I generated a report to the trustees on February 23rd about the one property. I received a call about 2 hours before this meeting for the other property on Palker Road, the one that there's no house on, that they had considered building on. I talked to the owners, and they said they'll be out this weekend or next weekend, weather permitting, and they're bringing help with them to clean the property up.
Good.
They're gonna scrap the vehicle that's on the property that has expired plates on it, so they'll take care of that. They reached out to me today. We've had, the BZA's had a total of 4 variances so far this year. 2 are gonna be heard on March 19th in this building at 6:30. We have another one tentatively, provided they get the variance paperwork in by the last Friday of this month. That will be heard in April. It's for a parcel on Ballish Road. They want to get solar panels, and they don't meet our requirements. The zoning commission, their next meeting is March 12th at 6:30 PM. Does anybody have any questions?
I have no questions, Sherry, but I would like to give you kudos for the zoning status report on the property on Palker, the Allen Pace property. I was just extremely impressed of all of your efforts and
Thank
the
you. He actually stopped by
outcome.
the office today, and he called me while I was eating dinner tonight. He started staking his property. He wants to build container housing on there. I said, well, we need to talk first.
Thank you, Sherry.
If I could, it wouldn't really fall under new business because not asking for any type of decision or action tonight, but one thing that the zoning inspector, myself, Karen, the zoning secretary, even some of the zoning commission members have discussed. Obviously, rewriting the zoning code has been a monumental task that's been ongoing for a while now, and one of the big obstacles that I think that the board is running into is they're working well through the vision and what they want to see for the township, but they're kind of getting bogged down a lot of times in how to write the language to achieve that vision. I don't have any proposals to bring forth, but before doing a lot of legwork, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on potentially soliciting. There are a number of law firms throughout the state of Ohio that specialize in writing zoning codes, you know, with obviously the guidance from zoning commissions. Preliminary research that could run anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 to outsource the writing piece of it. I think it would be on the lower end of that, but I don't want to spend the time doing that if it's something that you guys are completely opposed to looking into.
I think it's worth discussing. I mean, it's not
Okay.
worth discussing to me. That was one of Bill's, you know, last year, or
Yeah.
last 2 years, after he would kind of do that, but if, you know.
Just with Bill's situation, I think that might be a little bit larger task than he might be up for with still working within the
Right.
time frame that we want to accomplish, right? This is something that we want to try to get done sooner rather than later, as opposed to have it drag out another 12 or 18 months.
Yeah.
So,
It would be hard to guess, but what would you think? It would save us a year? It would save us 6
Oh.
months? Or what, I mean, just,
probably at least. I mean, because again, instead of having any one person work through, you know, writing the code with the zoning commission, we could engage with a firm that's gonna have a lot more experience. I mean, I shouldn't say more experience, but they've done it a lot more often
specialty.
than, right, exactly. And so we can have the zoning commission kind of relay, you know, they can do their job still in presenting the image and the vision of what they want the zoning code to, you know, shape the township as, but then the people that write that type of code all the time can go back and actually draft that. Now, it still goes through the same approval process, you know, the zoning commission then has to adopt it, we have to do our public hearings and that kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, we've been struggling with this for how long? And I think that's something that would get it done, you know, before the end of the year, probably.
Have
if
you
not
discussed
sooner.
it with the zoning commission?
Sherry and I have talked about it, Karen and I have talked about it, I've spoken with Rich about it, you know, and everyone is on board with it, because again, we're not giving up any control over what it looks like, just, you know, the actual expertise of writing the code itself, instead of asking our residents to do that, which none of them really specialize in,
Right.
in writing legislation or a zoning code. Plus, it would more than likely allow it to be a little bit tighter so that, you know, it actually achieves what we want it to
Right.
achieve when it's done.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
all right, well then I'll get to work on it and hopefully be able to present some options at the next meeting.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Public participation.
Just a comment. I'll volunteer to take the flag down until the light gets fixed.
Is it illuminated right now, Chief?
I think it's intermittent, so they fixed it temporarily. It's lit.
Oh, good.
No, thanks.
Love that flag. What'd you say,
I
Chris?
said, no, thanks. We're good.
Oh.
No, thank you for offering it.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was nice. Sir?
Yeah, I'm Paul Kuntz over at 6235 Lafayette Road, and I asked after one of these meetings about engine brake signs, no engine brake signs, and I was told that they're expensive and you can't do that. This was after the meeting. I also spoke to a trustee that's not available, or no longer here, nothing. I see that there's some signs going up. Matter of fact, you and I had a conversation. But I noticed that there's some signs now showing up. Were they put up by the township out on 142?
No.
how do we get them? Last night, 4:10 in the morning,
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
past the house.
I've actually talked to ODOT twice, one time when the chief and I, wherever the chief's hiding now, went down to Ashland. That was the second time I asked them, and they said, that they weren't gonna do it. It's
Well,
a state road, their signs, yeah, I don't, Montville has it, why can't we?
well,
right?
they're at Montville, and it ends right with us. I see now that Columbia Road has signs here, as you get up, I think it's State and further up, they're there. We get a lot of heavy traffic down through there, and it's really very, very annoying. It rattles the house,
Oh, I'm sure.
and it's a residential area. I mean, and it's light commercial, but there's more people sleeping there than working there.
Right.
From that standpoint. That's one issue, I don't know, is there some sort of a resolution to this
What's the
we can
time?
do as a township, or?
2 years ago, well, because it's a US route, it's ODOT's call, and they didn't want to give you the time of day a couple
No.
years ago, I don't think.
No, I had more conversation the second time, but the answer was still no, which is just odd, but.
We've got lots of industry and more industry coming, and lots of trucks. And just up in the corner, and Walbrick's on the corner, I heard one Walbrick truck, period. That was all, and I'm not calling them out. They're good stewards, without a doubt. But there's a lot of guys that just, it's like pipes on a Harley, I guess.
Right.
They don't, it just really is, it's really pretty annoying, so any recommendations, how do we take this forward? How do we get it stopped?
Protest.
Hmm?
Protest of the.
What
Got
is
a
the
better
state,
solution?
Well, I
what
did,
is
but
the
I go to
state's
jail
response
first.
on the request?
Ty?
I mean,
What is the state's response on our request?
yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
They don't want to put the signs up, they don't think it's needed in those areas that I talked to them about, and that was one of
Do they
the
live-
areas. But I even asked them to lower the speed limit, when Dollar General's going through, and they're like, no, it don't need.
Is there a process that we can petition or request, make a formal request? Or is there, do you know there's a process to get
Yeah.
a sign?
I don't know that answer, but I've talked to them face to face twice,
And who did
figuring
you
that
talk
was the
to?
best way.
What's
District 3 in Ashland.
Okay.
It's a piece of metal with words on it.
I
It's a
know,
big deal.
I know. I'd be willing to buy the signs and
Right.
put them up, but they won't do that. Those are our signs, those are our poles.
I'm not feeling good right now.
If it was a township road, I think we would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Maybe a call to a state representative?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I have to call a state representative, is that what you're saying?
Well, we can as well.
no,
We
yeah,
absolutely can as
we
well.
can do
I
that.
live here in the township, you're our voice
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
township.
right. Yeah, I wrote that down.
And Ty, it's you and I that spoke after the meeting, and you basically said what you just said here, again. But it's not once in a while. And we've got babies living up in that area. There's no reason to be waking them up. There's no reason to be waking generics up like that as well. I like sleeping a little more now, but,
Isn't there a noise ordinance along 42?
No.
Sure. That's what I heard about. 10 o'clock on.
Well, I mean, after certain hours, I guess what you would consider a reasonable time, is there any, but we don't have anything in the zoning or anything like
It
that.
would be under like disorderly conduct or disturbing the peace type stuff.
Right.
But a vehicle traveling down the road, you're gonna have there. But that doesn't mean that there isn't anything that we can't do.
Engine braking.
What about the noise ordinance?
There's no noise ordinance, so to speak, especially on traffic.
one other thing as well. I'm an avid motorcyclist, so I'm not against motorcycles. As somebody that's going through here in the morning, this morning went through way over 100 miles an hour. Way over 100 miles an hour. Did you
Oh,
hear?
yeah, they go flying,
Yeah, I
especially
mean-
by my house on the corner, 'cause they turn the corner and they open it wide open.
It was the same thing at my house. I mean, they shake my
Yeah, it's
windows.
bad. Me
And
too.
we replaced our windows and got new
Yeah.
windows, and they still shake our windows. And that's at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you get it coming home from the bar also. Because right at my intersection, because it's 55, and that's what I kind of wanted, I was gonna bring up also. They just rip roar through there, and it's crazy. And we do have an ordinance, the noise ordinance that where there's no need for it, and so,
Yeah, it's,
you gotta call the police, is what they said, you gotta call the police, and then the police can't sit at the bank and monitor everybody that comes through there at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and go through the bank parking lot, and get through the thing, and go pee and everything else.
yeah, I would, we had issues in the past with speed, and I'll say that I offered my driveway to the police anytime you want, police here, anytime you want to be there, get thirsty, yell, I'll give you a cup of coffee.
I do hot chocolate.
You do hot chocolate.
I do hot chocolate
but-
next to you.
But that was very effective. And I think a suggestion, I mean, like I said, I ride motorcycles, and I have loud bikes, but I have a lot of bikes. And I'm a motorcyclist, but somebody's gonna get killed out there. And a good recommendation is Wednesday night during the summer is poker run. Hang around my place for a while. It'll send a message, it really will. And it is loud. The lady back here had her.
No, I was gonna say that before, is the speeding on the motorcycle at any particular time, every day or anything like that?
Well, this guy's come through in the morning the last couple of days. I think,
I saw one right when I was leaving to come here tonight.
yeah, well, this morning the guy went through, and I mean, it was,
Wow.
I can look out my dining room window and I'm looking at the dip coming through. And by the time I turned around, he was gone. I couldn't see him past my camper on the other side. I mean, he had to be 120 miles an hour. He was cooking.
If I can piggyback off of you, I'm Renee Drake, I live on Lake Road, and the intersection right there are 3 little girls that play out in the front yard because they don't have a backyard, because it's a slope. And there are cars that rip roar through there early in the morning, all day long, and is what they try to do, I swear to God, is hit 55 by the time they're in front of where the little girls are playing to get over the railroad track, so they can do that dip thing to where they go up and then they try to take their wheels off the ground. And it's dangerous. Is there any way to lower that speed limit through there? Because unfortunately, no offense, officers, the officers usually park in the parking lot this way. Well, yesterday I almost got hit because the cops was this way. Don't park that way, please. We can't see backing out of our driveway. And when they come from the intersection, they didn't take the back of our cars off. And we all back out of our driveways there because we don't, well, I have a turnaround, but most of them don't have a turnaround. If there's anything we can do to lower that speed limit, one of them little girls are gonna get hurt or killed.
That's Lake Road?
Lake Road in Chippewa. And cars, motorcycles, they rip roar through there, and it's atrocious.
Lake Road north of,
I'm sorry?
north of Chippewa?
Yes,
By
yeah,
the tracks.
well, before the tracks, but
Yeah, going from
It seems
Chippewa
like-
towards the railroad track. So I don't know, is there an area there's probably an area where you could have somebody occasionally sit closer
They
to the
can sit.
tracks to get them?
oh, the tracks were good. Well, yeah, there's a lot of, I think it's for utilities for the track, or for the
Well, I know
railroad.
that the police presence in that area a lot of times does sit at the bank there on the
They
corner,
do.
which is great, because if they
It
see
is.
them, they're obviously not gonna go ripping through, but,
Yeah.
a couple of those guys get caught, racing down there and start seeing some presence closer to the tracks, maybe.
Well, there's
They
one
think
that's
twice.
down in Chippewa. He's bad. It's a green motorcycle, it's about all I can tell you. It's bad. The one little girl, I guess she was checking the mail, and he just went through there. but he also went left of the line also. It almost looked like he was trying to hit the girl. And, I mean, I don't wanna start any things, but he was left and going over, the little girl's checking the mail, because our mailboxes are on the other side of the road. It's bad through that intersection. People don't stop, people don't, and they don't look either. It's bad. But they do stop when the officers are there. Because right there's my windows, I see it all.
Lieutenant Markham, can we keep a little extra eye on that area?
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, the one little girl is, I think, 2. Little 2-year-olds don't have that many marbles that, no, oh, I better not go out on the road. It doesn't work that way. Okay.
I was just gonna say, is it possible to get a noise ordinance passed?
It's hard for the township to enforce that, and then it becomes kind of a moot thing. We just don't have the ability to do it. It's been asked before, it's been brought up in zoning, but it's just next to impossible to enforce.
We do have one by us. There's a noise ordinance by us.
In the village,
But it-
probably.
But, no, we don't, I don't live in the village.
Well, no, I know, but it would only extend to the
To
village.
the village.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I could say that when the police presence made a difference,
It doesn't.
and
they do
it
make
was a lasting difference.
Mhm.
It wasn't just, oh, they were there. But it was done in a way that it was actively passive, if you will. The use of the speed limit sign did help, because I noticed that, that really brought the traffic down and slowed it. It's back up now. It did work, and it's, you teach a dog a trick, you don't do it for a few years. They did, they need retaught.
The other problem was when those trucks come down that hill, the big semis that aren't allowed to be there, that come down, they can't stop. They can't stop on a dime. And they're coming down that hill, and then those little girls are right there at that thing. And the school bus stops there also.
Right.
Those semi trucks are really, really bad. And I think they have the, what's that, the thing that tells you if there's an officer somewhere? What's that thing called?
Radar detector?
Something like that. When the officers are at the intersection, the trucks ain't nowhere to be found.
Works, doesn't it?
Keeps the trucks away for a minute. But one of those little girls are going to get hurt. That's a fact.
We'll do extra patrol for both those locations.
You guys are wonderful, thank you. I'll bring you chocolate too.
Right, with the officers that I've had contact with are top-notch guys. They've done some good things. I had a criminal call, had the meth heads cutting trees down on my property next door. Where they're at now. I think you guys know that. So, it's an interesting thing to see every once in a while. Going out there on the internet.
Kathy, did you have something?
I might be on the wrong road. Is that a two-way stop or a four-way there?
You talking
At Chippewa
Chippewa
and-
Lake, that's a
and Lake.
four-way.
Four-way, okay. Yeah, Ryan and Chippewa is a two. That's pretty hard to get across
Right.
sometimes
What's
too.
with that hill?
Yeah.
Ma'am?
I have a question for fire and rescue. In his report, he stated that he had a turnout of just over 2 minutes, and his on-scene was 5 minutes. I wanted to know, in 49 calls, what was the longest time someone had to wait for fire and rescue? Do you have that information?
No, so the average time is 5 minutes and 36 seconds to be on
Right.
scene. So I don't know what the average, the longest time, I'd have to look at all 49 reports and figure out where the longest time, but it's probably around that 5-minute mark. Right, or a mutual aid call to Chatham,
When they're going a little further
we're
away.
going farther.
Yeah, well, I'd be interested to know just exactly how long the possibility somebody would have to wait, if maybe next time.
Yeah, I could find that out for
I
you,
mean,
figure out,
an
yeah.
average, you have to have all the
Yeah,
numbers
an
are
average, well,
anyway.
I'd have to figure, I'd just give you the longest call. I mean, it's variable though. I mean, it's, the distance is part of it. So if we're going to Chatham, that's the longest call. If we're going to, we're mutual aiding Seville, that could be the longest call. So that could be 8 minutes or 10 minutes or 11 minutes even. So, or Westfield, for example, if we're going to the other side of Greenwich Road in Westfield, that could be a 16 or 12-minute response.
So I,
Or if we're already out on a call, then somebody else is coming to our fire department or our service area to cover those calls as well, so. It's not an exact answer. It's, the average is 5 minutes and 36 seconds, but,
if you live in a sweet spot.
no.
Well, no,
It's the average for the whole township.
Chief, is there a way within the reporting software to break out I mean, I know the average response time, but like you said, it includes, all your calls, so even your mutual aid. Is there a way to exclude mutual aid calls and get, because I think,
Try that.
and if I'm incorrect, but I think the question is more towards, what our residents can expect
Right.
when they come in.
Right.
So, to your point, if it takes us, 18 minutes to be on scene because we're on a mutual aid to the other side of Chatham, I don't want to say that that's not important to our residents, but
Right.
it's not really a measure of what we want from our, you know what I mean, like,
And if it's the average, so the average, going to Chatham for 16 minutes, that still brings that, we're still under that 5 minutes. So our township residents, our Lafayette Township residents.
Are faster.
Probably 5 minutes or less, which is great. It's a good number. Unless we're already on a call, so that would be the only issue. But I'll look into that and see if I can figure out the report to kind of break it out.
For the record, your name, ma'am?
Linda Collins.
Linda Collins.
thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
90 seconds.
Okay.
My house in 20 minutes.
Correspondence. Do you guys have any correspondence, either one of you?
The only one I had, we kind of already touched on it, was a resident over in Chippewa had called about the clutter that was accumulating on the Chippewa Road
We addressed that
property.
during zoning.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
I had two, I had the economic development thing, which we discussed.
Which we discussed, yeah.
And then I sent you guys a letter out. I just got this late last week, and I would have given it to you sooner, but I thought that they were copies, and I actually had the originals, so I made copies. But this is one where, I don't think we've exercised this in the last couple of years, this ability to do this. Notice of delinquent tax foreclosure proceedings on a property. This one is actually the roadside inn. So maybe
Two
we do
parcels.
have an interest in doing this. It's, normally a rural residential home or something where the township wouldn't have too much of an interest in it, but being that this one is in the commercial area.
Yeah, I would say, if it's gone through the foreclosure, if I understand correctly, the only time the prosecutor would bring this to us is if it's already gone through sheriff's sale.
I would think.
And not sold. So if it's something where the township has the opportunity to take it into the land bank, I think we absolutely should.
Yeah, I would agree.
It doesn't cost us anything, and we don't have to put any funds forward until we dispose of the property.
Right. Thoughts?
No, I'm in total agreement.
I'd make the motion to discuss this with the prosecutor's office. I think if we contact Brian Richter, he's the one that issued it, that we're directed to respond to.
Well, I don't know who, is this, we authorize accepting the property, I think, instead of, we don't need to authorize, if we're just gonna discuss it, we don't really need a motion to do
That's
that,
true.
but quite frankly, if it's something where the township has the opportunity to take that property into the land bank, I think we should just do that. So whoever's gonna reach out to Brian, if you wanna take lead on that, I'm fine with it, but I think we should just authorize exercising our authority
I will do
to take
that.
the property.
So what do you do with that property if you take it?
Find a suitable use for it. We either improve it, use it for the township, we can use it if it's something that the township can make use of, if it's something that, we can then put out for bid, and we can actually sometimes it's a matter of there's something that's holding back another entity from purchasing it. They don't want to deal with the cleanup, or they don't want to deal with,
Back taxes.
demoing it and the back taxes, exactly. So we can take that, we can do whatever needs to be done, we can recoup all of our costs, and then the taxes, and then any proceeds go back to the township.
Well, I asked that because the two properties that the
Correct.
township did buy,
Mhm.
the one that is on Lake Road, on the very corner of Lake and in Chippewa, not the one that, they sell the flowers, the other one, the people that own the house next door to it, they use it as their private parking and driving. There was an SUV that was
Then that's something that we need to
slowing
look
down
into.
Yeah.
and turning, and to
Yeah.
drive over the property, and a truck came down and almost slammed into the back of him. It's not his property to use, I would think.
No, it's not. And we didn't actually purchase that property. That it was the same type of
Okay.
process. We take ownership of it
Right.
at no cost. And then it's on the disposition that we clear up the back taxes, and then any proceeds go into the township funds.
So those properties are just sitting there.
Correct.
Okay.
But they shouldn't be being used by anybody else either.
Yeah,
So
use them.
we will definitely take a look into that.
Who owns the property across the road over here, in front, in other words?
In
by Akron
Technology Park?
University?
Yeah.
Gerspacher's got signs up there.
Yeah,
They've been
they're-
marketing it. I don't know who owns it off the top of my head.
I think it's the same person that originally purchased it.
I think it is. You should get the site.
Yeah. Address here again?
6-7,
3-6.
6367 is ours.
Mhm.
RR, is that CMAC? It's either CMAC or RR2.
I don't think it's CMAC. I think it's RR2, actually.
That is RR2 Enterprises out of
Where's that?
Wadsworth.
Name of a company that they purchased. I don't know how long ago. Does it say how long ago they acquired it?
That transfer, this is just off the auditor's website, but it looks like that transfer was in May of '21.
3 years ago.
So,
It's in the University Center, this whole project was put together back there, I was involved with that. With the university.
That's all I had for correspondence. New business. We knocked off a bunch of it already.
Yeah, thanks to Brian.
First one is Westfield Bank.
I'll do one of the new businesses, then, okay, Brian?
That's the one you requested, correct?
Just messing with them. Last month, Justin brought two resolutions to the board for consideration, investing fire department operating funds and also bond levy funds into Star Ohio accounts. And so doing my due diligence on this, I, after talking with several trustees and fiscal officers down at the OTA down in Columbus a couple weeks back, I actually think we can do better by investing locally. But Star Ohio, they've been around for a long time and they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. They got over $22 billion investing with government money. Their current yields are 5.5, which is the highest in a long, long time. They have a high rating, the highest rating from Standard & Poor. I'd like to try to do something different, for the consideration of the board, because I have no complaints with Star Ohio. The only thing I would change, if I could, I'd like to have our money FDIC insured, which Star Ohio does not do that. And then I'd like to be able to invest locally. But just so everyone knows, we do have 6 Star Ohio accounts right now, about $1 million worth, which is making great return right now. Lucky us. So it's not, I mean, they're just doing well. So nothing bad about Star Ohio, but I got to thinking when we came back from Columbus, so I met with Westfield Bank, and I will introduce Jared here in a second to talk. I don't want to steal all of his thunder, but a couple things. I would like to consider switching to Westfield Bank instead of Huntington. And I'll let Jared explain everything, but just a couple tidbits here. We could switch all of our fire department checking, township checking and savings over to Westfield. And then the interest that we would make on the township side would be over $25,000 a year. Fire and rescue could make up to $50,000 a year, so that would be an extra $75,000 just by moving the banks, changing over to a different bank. Also, they're FDIC insured, and then they invest locally, which is important to me. So I want to introduce Jared.
Real quick, if I could interrupt, and I don't want to steal
Yep.
Jared's thunder, but
Yep.
if you remember, I think at the last meeting, I brought up the idea of, putting our deposits back out for bid, which ultimately, if we're going to make any changes, is the process that I believe we not only should, but are statutorily required to do before we would make any changes. So-
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I did talk with the prosecutor's office about a couple things. One we already touched base on. We can terminate with Huntington 30-day written notice without a problem. They're actually researching to see if we can use 2 depositories at the same time. But there again, there's a lot of discussion to happen before
Absolutely,
that.
and
So
it's not even necessarily Huntington's fault. When those depository contracts were bid out, interest rates were near zero, so that's why we are where we are. But-
yeah. If you look at the history of Star Ohio,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago, it was paying like nothing.
Right, it
So-
didn't start till, I think,
Right.
like. first
Jared,
quarter, but
welcome.
anyway, go ahead.
Sorry to make you wait so long.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
We're all over the place on the agenda. Thank you, sir.
So again, my name is Jared Long with Westfield Bank. So when I was meeting with Ty, I did get an opportunity to review some of the statements from the township account and then also the fire and rescue account. And there was a couple things that really jumped out at me. Number one, there's large balances carried in both of those accounts. So on the township side, there's a primary checking account and then also a savings account. And then on the fire and rescue, it's just a checking account. So there's no interest paid on that checking account whatsoever. So Ty was exactly right. Interest rates are definitely higher today than when you signed that contract with Huntington. So what I would like to do for the township, and I think this is sort of the best of both worlds, is if you have a sort of a standard operating account, or we'll take the general account for the township. So you set up that checking account, and then you add a savings account to it. And what we can do is, we can set a target balance in the checking account. So say we set that target balance of $400,000. So anything in excess of the $400,000 automatically sweeps over to the money market, which is gonna earn interest. And then if that balance falls below $400,000, it pulls from the money market to get it back up to $400,000. So again, at the end of the day, the general account has all the money it needs to cover any transactions that are occurring for that day. And then the bulk of that cash is then put into the money market, and there's where you're gonna capture the interest. So the interest account alone, with this structure, the monthly interest would be roughly $2,200. And then again, if we did something similar to, for the fire and rescue account, which even has a larger balance, we set the target balance in the checking at 400. Everything in excess would be swept over to the money market. The monthly interest just for that account would be $4,100, so $4,148. So if we look at 2023, roughly, you, or the township between both of those accounts received just a little bit over $2,100 in interest. So it was $2,107.93. With the structure that I'm proposing today, the annual interest earned for fire and rescue and the township account combined would be $72,659.03. So obviously, a lot more interest with this structure compared to what you're using today. So that's what I'm proposing for those two entities. And then, like Ty mentioned, there are 6 accounts that are held at Star Ohio. So the rate as of today on those accounts were 5.55. And if those accounts were come to Westfield Bank, we would match that rate. So we would give the township the 5.55. And that's guaranteed for 6 months. And then after 6 months, that rate would drop down to 10 basis points or 0.10 below Star. So if it was 7 months after today, the rate would be 5.45 instead of 5.55. So the good thing about these accounts, like Ty mentioned, they're all FDIC insured. So it doesn't matter what the balance is. The way we're able to do that is we work with a partner that's called IntraFi, and they take the township's balance and they break it up into increments of $240,000. And then they take that money and place it at different banks. So everything stays below $250,000, everything is fully FDIC insured. That is with the funds that are at Star Ohio. I do want to clarify, so the township checking and savings and then the fire rescue checking and savings, those balances, since they are over $250,000, would not be FDIC insured. But Westfield Bank, all banks that hold public funds are required to collateralize those deposits. So we use a program through the state of Ohio called the Ohio Pooled Collateral Program. So we basically take securities and set it aside for whatever those balances are. So we're responsible, or required I should say, to collateralize those deposits at 102% of whatever those values would be. So that means that the township and the fire rescue, that money's protected. If anything was to ever happen to Westfield Bank, there's money set aside to ensure that the township and the fire and rescue would get that money back.
So with that, there would be no possibility for a loss in that.
Correct. That's why we're required to collateralize those deposits.
And we can discuss, since we're an unresolved business, the fire district investment strategy.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
It's kind of the same thing here.
Yeah, I have no issue with the conversation at all. We need to do something with the deposits.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to do something.
The thing that I don't like about Star Ohio is there is a risk of loss. I mean, I don't know that it's gonna happen, but it
Yeah,
could.
but it's still managed by the auditor of state. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
That is correct.
There-
And Ty did mention, the one good thing about banking local is the money does stay here in Medina County. So we're taking deposits that we're bringing in from our clients and turning around and loaning those out to businesses in Medina County. So there is somewhat of an advantage of keeping that money local. Star Ohio is a great fund. It does great. It performs very well. But that's one of the advantages of having it at a community bank versus Star Ohio.
I don't disagree with that at all. The big difference for me is, and he highlighted it perfectly, right now we're missing out on, just on the fire district side alone, $5,000 a month in interest. We can put the money in a Star Ohio account tomorrow if we want to do an analysis of our depository contracts. We can absolutely do that, but it has to go through a bid process. We can't just unilaterally select one institution. It's not something that we can do immediately. So I think both processes are things that we need to do. Short term, we need to put the money somewhere where it's earning some interest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
long term, we need to put the depository agreements back out to bid. Because to Ty's point too, you don't have to, we can have multiple depository agreements. We don't have to put all of our money in one bank. I mean, there's definitely advantages to having one person do the layering, but we can do the same layering for FDIC insurance that Westfield's gonna do for us under this proposal. Not saying that that's a nightmare we wanna create for Laura, but it's something that can be done, so, you know, my thought would be, let's go through the process of putting the depository the depository contracts back out for bid. In the short term, let's get that fire district money. I mean, Chief, we've talked about it, you know, the monthly expenditures on average, $65,000. So it's not like we need to keep a huge amount, because again, the Star Ohio account's liquid. We can get that money back as needed, transferring back and forth. So, you know, I think we agreed that we need to put the depository contracts back out for bid, and that we, for the short term, I would move a sizable amount of the fire district money into a Star Ohio account for now, because we don't have a better place to put it in the short term.
Yeah. And the Star Ohio account now that is labeled fire.
Right, it's
we need-
township.
We need to do a different one.
Right. Yeah,
Start a different one.
and if I'm not mistaken, Laura, we can open as many Star Ohio accounts as we need to. We can designate them as such, because I would defer to Laura what's easiest for her as far as that goes, but we have kind of two pools of money in the fire district as it is. The operating funds and the bond fund. So whatever's easier for her accounting standpoint to allocate the interest properly, whether she wants one Star Ohio account for fire and just leave it as that, or have two. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Do we want to make him stand there the whole time?
No. Thank you, Jared.
Yes.
Would we entertain the idea of doing a work session with Westfield in the near future to talk about the nuances of this, or do we want to do our contracting out for bid first?
Well, my concern is that it's nothing against Westfield Bank. It's, as I understand the process, it needs to be bid. You bid out your depository agreement. Now, it's required to be done every 5 years. We've done it within that time frame, but obviously the last time it was done was a completely different interest rate environment. So I don't know that we would be within our authority to just unilaterally choose a new depository without putting it through a bid process. It's something that we should probably run through the prosecutor's office.
I can reach back out to Mike.
Is there an accountant involved in any of this?
An accountant?
Yeah. Isn't there an accountant in this whole Westfield or Lafayette Township? Somebody would step forward and take a look at it?
For what purpose?
Well, to see the options we have. I mean, there's more banks than Westfield.
Why we have a fiscal officer.
Pardon?
That's why we have a fiscal officer, and that's why the normal process is that you advertise that you're taking bids for your deposits. Then any bank that wants to bid on that prepares a proposal, just like what Jared did.
Yeah.
And then we review all of those, just like any other bid process for a bid contract or anything along those lines. And then we agree to place a certain amount of funds. Most people, well, I shouldn't say that, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine the majority of townships place their funds with one depository. It makes life significantly easier, but there's nothing that stops you from,
Right.
layering it. But again, it's a service that they offer within that. And so that's, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the normal process for how we would handle
Probably
it.
drop a point in the next 3 or 4 months.
Well, and that's why, like, the Star Ohio account is one that the interest rate does fluctuate daily, but it is, while not FDIC insured, they're still restricted on the types of assets that they can invest in within that fund, so it stays fairly stable. And in the short term, we can open up an account tomorrow and at least get what we're currently not earning any interest on, earning interest,
Yes.
until we can make a long-term decision.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
We have options.
So what are we doing?
Well, I'll reach out to Mike Lyons at the prosecutor and get a better understanding of, the bidding.
Requirements.
The requirements.
Okay.
And, I would say that we would open up a Star Ohio, at least for temporary, because this could be a couple months.
Right.
Of work. We might as well not lose out on, the high interest rates.
Right.
It's as high as it's ever
And,
been
and
right now.
again, there's no guarantee that that doesn't change, you know, tomorrow, but let's get it working for us in the short term.
Right. The only issue is the dollar amount.
Well, I would
As
defer,
of, yeah.
yeah, to Laura as far as what she needs to keep operating, but the way that I had drafted that resolution and the idea there was to kind of give her the authority to, you know, keep the Star Ohio accounts with as much money as she doesn't need in the daily checking. And then if she needs to make a withdrawal from that account to cover payroll or a large purchase or a bill that comes due, she can do that without needing a resolution from the board to do that.
Right.
And I will get to you.
Do you have a best guess, Laura, on a dollar amount?
Are we talking?
Fire, yeah, here's fire. This was the end of January.
I don't know, $1 million over if we kept 400,000. That
Would-
should be fine.
And would you want just one account is easy enough? You can still figure out what interest goes where? Okay.
Just one for fire, underneath fire. Yeah.
Yeah,
She said 1 million,
okay, let's do that then.
so I'm good with that.
I mean, that's an extra $5,500. That pays for the sign in a month, even though we're doing that out of ARPA, but.
No, trust me. I'm all about trying to make money.
I mean, stuck in there for a year, that would net $50,000.
Right,
Wasn't it, for a year?
exactly.
And she can spend it.
Did you bring your resolution?
I
Oh,
brought it.
Chris
Chris
is-
Chris is
You
on
wanna,
it.
you wanna just use
Yeah, I
the,
think
the
we should.
operating one then? I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
It's the same.
Well,
I'm fairly certain they're
one of
almost-
them was starting a new account. I can't
Right.
remember which one you had.
Well, because originally,
This was for a
I
new
was
one.
under the impression that the fire, the current Star Fire was actually under
Yeah.
the fire side, but with the split books, that mess. Anyway, we can modify it slightly for
Yeah.
that. Because we are technically opening a new account.
Yep.
So was this the one that was gonna open?
No, this is the one that was gonna open, yeah, but it was, you know, it was dedicated for the
For the
bond fund.
So I think we just take the dedicated, take the language out that dedicates it for the bond fund and just make it for the fire district in general.
Mm-hmm.
And go with it from there. Because again, it allows Laura the discretion to move money, like, again, if she has to cover payroll and there isn't money in the checking account, she can pull it out of the Star Ohio account without us having to have a special meeting
Right.
to authorize her to do that. Don't ask me the number. I have no clue what we're on now.
Do you know what the number is? I think it's,
For fire?
I think it's 8.
No, we did 8.
Did we?
Mhm.
For the fire
We're either
district?
on 9 or 10.
But didn't we already do 10 earlier in this
For the
meeting?
fire district?
No, the 10
Oh.
today was for the
Township.
township, because that was for the road.
This would
Yeah.
be 9.
You had these as 8 and 9 last time, right?
Right,
haven't
but
done
we
any fire
did,
district
we
ones,
did
have we?
something for fire.
Okay,
We did a resolution for fire. Certain.
so this will be 9. And it'll be whatever the next in
Right.
line is. A resolution directing the investment of Lafayette Township Fire District. I'm gonna take out bond
Yeah,
levy,
yeah.
fire district funds. March 4th. Strike that whole first portion, because that's strictly tax levy.
Yep.
Strike that.
What does it say here? I would strike those two, replace them with these two, because this is just for the fire district, which would this one can stay. It's the same in both.
For the third paragraph?
Yeah, they should be the exact same.
No, this is all for.
What is that? Oh, yeah, because that was for the bond as well.
Yep.
So you really want this language more than anything.
But we need to dedicate a new fund.
Right,
That's what you're
right.
saying.
So we're giving her the authority to open the new account. So you basically want this top and this bottom.
Yep.
Because I don't think there was anything in the bottom. There was.
Operating funds. We're not even really differentiating.
Right,
between
we're not. We're just,
Operating.
because she said it's easy enough to manage it with one account. She'll just allocate the interest as need be, so. Yeah. And I can clean those up. I mean, we're basically authorizing Laura to open up a new fire district fund with Star Ohio, invest the balance, you know, with the purpose of maximizing the interest that we earn on that and giving her the authority to move funds back and forth as she needs to cover daily operating.
Yes.
But do we put the starting dollar amount on that initial resolution?
We can. You know, we want to say $1 million.
Up to $1 million?
Well, we're gonna put $1 million
Let's put $1
in to
million in,
start.
yeah. Because that still leaves, you know, 400,000 and there's
Right.
nothing due on the bond until the summer anyway, so. All right. So that'll be the new resolution. I've got it already typed up, so I'll just clean it up with your notes
Okay.
and have it down at the town hall tomorrow. I'll get it to the, yeah. Who's gonna second?
I'm hesitant to second without having, I mean, we gotta, I'm good in principle. I just don't like having, you know, 4 different sheets of paper.
I got you. Well, the only other thing is
No,
that
I'll
we have to have a meeting, and I'd rather not
I'll second.
Nope.
With those
with those changes.
changes, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Got it.
So we'll just say that, trustee Paroli and.
Thank you. Where's Barb when you need her?
Okay, roll call vote. Paroli,
Yes.
Fullerton,
Yes.
O'Neill, yes. So it is adopted as of 3-4.
Okay. Good. We got movement. You done talking about that right now?
Sounds like you're done talking.
You done wore me out.
All right, are you okay to go on to the next topic, or do you want
I'm
me
gonna
to?
pass it to Kristen here in a second. The email, excuse me, email marketing platform, I had Kristen do some background check, some checking in on, who we can use as a township. In our newsletter, we're gonna wanna advertise this so we can, go electronic, so, Kristen, can you take a minute and compare the two, MailChimp and Constant Contact?
Yeah, Sherry, I'm gonna make sure that you're going to. Sherry, you come with me, because you have experience with both of these, but, Ty had asked me, I'm Kristen, I'm the new admin assistant, in case anyone didn't know. You'll see me if you come into the office. So there's many different, email marketing platforms, and it's basically where we can store all of your emails and then mass email everybody newsletters, special events information, monthly, whatever the trustees want to
Thanks, Chief.
get information out to all the residents. So there was a couple different things there was 2 main ones that we were looking at, and the one was Constant Contact and the other one was MailChimp. I was looking at a couple different, you can search on Google machine and see, how much is this plan, how much is that plan. some plans let you have up to so many different users. And depending on how many users, basically how many people you are emailing, is I mean, we're gonna want basic features. A lot of businesses use this for mass marketing, sales. We're not really selling you anything, we just want to get you out information. So, my idea was to just, basically the MailChimp, you can get up to a free plan, up to 500 emails to start, 500 contacts. And right now, I'm in the, currently I started today, putting all the current emails that we've had at past meetings into a spreadsheet so that we can start a database like this. Some of the other ones are all pay first, so that, or you only get up to 60 days free and then you have to start paying. And I said, just to start, let's do it for free and see how it works. Because right now, there's nowhere near even 100 emails that we have on file. So if this is successful, I would say then we could go back and look at this. And the MailChimp seems to be like the most economically priced for what we would be using it for. And Sherry and I had discussed it as well, and she seconded that she likes this. It's more user-friendly and things like that to use for the MailChimp. Did I say what you wanted to say?
You said it better than I could have said it.
Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
And real quick, I'll cut you off. I think we had a question when we were talking about the banking stuff, so.
Yeah, I just, real quick, this was about the Star Ohio accounts and not the Fire District or Lafayette accounts. I'm just looking at it like from a personal point of view. If I was handling those as my personal accounts, and I'm getting a certain percentage on my money for interest, and another financial institution wants to have my money, they have to come on board with more than what I'm getting now, not what I'm getting now. Because it's no advantage to me to move everything if I'm not gaining something for myself. And if I understood what you said, or what was said, it would just basically, if that was considered, it would just be the same thing across the board. Percentage wouldn't change if you transferred the 5-star accounts, let's just say over to Westwood, because you were speaking. It seems like it would be the same. I don't see what the advantage would be to do it if I'm not getting more of a percentage rate for me.
Well, I think the one thing, and I'll let the other guys answer too, but the one advantage that you would have is you do get layering it with FDIC insured banks does give you another layer of insurance. How you value that comes down to the decision that we have to look at it as a board. Is it worth giving up a small percentage, right? Because
I think you said neither one was FDIC insured. Did I misunderstand that?
A portion of the
certain
yeah, it's only up to 250, right?
It's only up to 250,
Okay.
and I think, and Jared can correct me if I'm wrong, but the investment piece that they were going to match with, or come very close to matching Star Ohio's, the way they make sure all the funds are FDIC insured is they don't deposit more than the 250 with any one institution.
Okay.
So you're still insured. The only area that wasn't insured under this proposal would be anything that exceeds the 250 in the primary checking accounts.
In the fire and rescue.
In the fire and the rescue. But that would be something that we could actually manage because we probably don't need to carry a larger balance than that long-term anyway in our checking.
But that would be collateralized anyway, correct?
Right.
So it would be protected, so.
Just not the same, but that's where you get into the difference, sorry.
Correct me if I'm wrong, in the Star Ohio, it's not so much an interest rate as it is a rate of return. It's not known going into what they're going to pay. You get an interest rate.
It's based on
but you
market
deposit
conditions
it.
is the way that I understand it.
Correct.
One other quick question to this young lady here.
Yes.
Have you guys put a link on the Lafayette Township site to maybe help increase your numbers for emails?
Not yet.
Okay.
I just started entering some today, but what if they're okay to go with the free version of the MailChimp, then MailChimp. I will go ahead and look into getting that free version started. And I'm assuming hopefully something like that where there's something through there where a resident could go in, click the link, enter their
Right.
email, and then they're automatically in the system.
Yeah, 'cause you might be able to get a lot more that way.
Oh,
than
yeah,
having
sure.
people sign up at different events or like a meeting like this.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we were also talking about, QR codes. So say we have a flyer for like community movie night, we could have the QR code on there, you know, sign up for more information.
Okay, yeah, we did. Thank you.
Kristen, the only question I had on that, and I'm guessing the answer is yes, there's no cap, or the answer will be no, there's no cap on the number of emails that you can eventually have with MailChimp, it's just,
It's
they bill you based on the amount of
It's
emails
dependent,
you have.
yes. I think it was like 10, number of contact, 50,000, I mean,
Yeah,
I
we're not
don't-
gonna get to there.
Yeah. And
Unless we
that
become
was
really
like,
popular.
that was like $350 a month, but there's no way we're going to, you know,
Get to that now.
need that, yeah, there's number of contacts versus like if you're in the light setting, the elite, like it, you know, kind of versions of it, but I think we would be more towards the lighter setting of whatever we were needing,
Then I-
for
I
right
would-
now, to start at least.
I'll make the motion to authorize Kristen to set up a township account with MailChimp on the free trial, see how it goes.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign?
Good job, Kristen.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kristen.
very nice work.
You saved my voice.
Oh, we were all over the place. Where are we next?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think we killed unresolved business.
Yeah.
Brian killed
Unless you want to go back to the key fob bids.
Yeah, well, I did have,
Yeah, if you got something there. go
I'll
for
do
it.
one quick one first. Actually, I do have a couple of things. Burnham and Flowers Insurance Group, this is something that the township's been paying for, I think, since at least 2015. It's firefighter, accident and health policy. And then I think in 2016, Chief, we also began a secondary, basically paying for the same thing, right?
The VFIS, so it's the exact same insurance.
Right.
They were supposed to, or whoever, this was an oversight of somebody back in 2016 or 15, where it was supposed to, that Vermin Flower was supposed to be
Right.
canceled, and VFIS was supposed to take over.
It's, yeah, the Burnham and Flowers one is a 3-year prepaid premium. And it probably should have just been because it was probably purchased in 2015 based on the renewal dates. It probably should have been allowed to just expire in 2018 because we've been paying the VFIS for 2 years. The VFIS is cheaper for about the same benefits, plus they offer training, correct, Chief?
Yeah, they have a training platform as well.
Right.
They're coming out Wednesday, I think this Wednesday or Thursday this week, to kind of go over everything they already have, essentially.
Good.
So
So I'm
this is
assuming the
where-
second one, or the most recent one was then renewed in '21, and now this, 3 years. So we got this, and we got the renewal notice of, like, about the day it was due, correct? But we have VFIS, so I don't really think we need to motion or anything. I'm of the opinion we just let this sunset. I don't know if I have VFIS, all this VFIS notes up
Okay.
here.
This is what we pay now for VFIS.
I can give you the VFIS or something, I guess.
Yes,
And this is the 3-year. Oh,
Correct.
wait,
Well,
I'm sorry.
this is the current one, that's for 3 years,
Gotcha.
so it's cheaper to pay the VFIS,
Yeah, all right, yeah. Just let it go then.
but I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And then a couple things, I'm sure the $1,000,000 question for you, Parker Road.
Oh,
Unfortunately, talking to Bike Lions, they haven't made any progress on the injunction progress, which
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's a surprise
Not
to
paid
us
his
or not.
taxes either.
No, they did. It shows, the auditor's website shows they did pay their taxes.
They did?
Yeah.
I checked it last week.
There's VFIS. That's the.
That's-
Thank you.
Can you check that?
Yeah, let me check.
I checked it today, I'm almost
Did
positive,
you?
yeah.
I checked last week and it wasn't paid.
And I
Either
checked,
was the one on his house that he's in.
No, I paid mine. What, that's
We know where to
6705?
find you.
that sounds right.
$42.5 acres? That's not the right one.
No.
That's it.
Is it 42? It's not, that's only like.
That's,
No.
that's the farmhouse, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 6, this is it.
So it should have a tax bill of like
66,
18,000 a
55
year.
maybe.
I'm pretty sure the first half of 9,000 something was paid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's paid, huh?
So with that, I mean, it's worth discussing. We billed the entire cost of the cleanup last year to it. We still have a few months left if we want to do it again without going through the same.
To just go clean it up?
Yeah.
There's 3 people
We'd still have to
living
make
there now.
other actually living.
Yeah, as of maybe the last 10 days, but they were living there regularly.
In that house?
Oh, yeah.
So Rick and I.
They have very low standards.
We've been kind of talking too, and if maybe we could talk with Parker Senior, if we could remove the culvert out there and make the driveway impassable,
Yeah.
that's something that, I don't know, I'm at a
Can we
loss.
do that?
They're not bringing in.
If Mr. Parker agrees to, he owns it.
Yeah,
The
they're not
elder.
bringing in more junk, but people do live in that.
They're not bringing it.
No, I didn't see any more junk come in, but
But-
they are living in the house.
So they meaning non-family members.
No, his son is there.
Oh.
His son is back there again.
And last year
But
we
I've
had a,
not seen him bring in junk, but I've seen him come in and out of the house, and there's smoke coming out of the chimney, they've been cutting wood out front, stuff like that.
I mean, there's still stuff strewn in
Oh,
the
yeah.
front
Oh,
yard
yeah.
of the driveway.
Oh, yeah, the garage is still.
That's not what's
everything.
come from his house, that's stuff that has been brought in, correct?
Yeah.
So there's been at least a
Still looks-
slowdown as of real recently, right?
Still decorated the same.
When we went about this last year, Mr. Parker wanted, you know, the inhabitants of that trailer out of there, he had no problem kicking the people out. And we could try that again and try to make the driveway impact, it's worth a shot to me. I mean, it wouldn't be a huge cost for Rick to go out there, just
Yeah.
ditch across there.
No, but are we sure that's gonna solve the problem, or does that create a new problem and now you have a property without, you know, what I'm like,
Just want them to clean their yard up, that's all. So. No, flip a coin, that's about how I feel now. Hey, if the tent's gonna go away this weekend, I'll be all
I'm
happy about
hopeful, I
it.
mean, that's what they told Sherry, so let's
Yeah.
hope they follow through with it.
Yeah,
we're free to do whatever, I mean, I don't, whatever, but I mean, like,
If we get permission from the landowner, then yeah, we could move forward.
I mean, are we gonna do a cleanup as well as the culvert pull? I mean, I know it's not anywhere near as bad as it
Yeah, I
was,
think
but it's
what-
not
No.
good.
If we got in there, we could probably do it in a day this time around, based on what it looks like now, I would think.
If there's someone still living in the house.
Well, but,
There was someone in the camper last
Right.
Oh, well,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
yeah.
and ultimately, to Chris's point, you know, if Robert Senior okays it,
Yeah.
you know, he's the property owner.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, especially knowing that they've already paid the first.
Yeah,
Right,
half.
they've
It's not
already
like,
paid
I
it.
feel like
At least
we-
you get had your money
Correct,
back, you
right,
know
right,
that.
at least we're,
Right. Well, you conversed with them pretty darn
yeah,
good
yeah,
last
he,
year.
he was nice to talk with me, so if it's okay with you guys, I mean, I don't
Yeah, I'm
think we need a
fine.
motion,
Yeah.
we'll just do it. I'll
No.
talk to him, and if he agrees to it, I'll bring an agreement to the next meeting.
at this point, I mean, I don't know how Ty feels about it, but to not drag the process out, if the property owner's okay with it, I have no problem authorizing you to just get it
Move
done.
forward with it.
Yeah, I mean, we know there's gonna be a cost, it's not gonna exceed
Right.
what it was last time. I mean, Rick, if we authorize up to $10,000, you're not gonna come anywhere close to spending that to clean what's up there now and take the culvert out?
No, because there's not as many, I noticed there's a lot more, there are not a lot more tires, but I do notice that there has been more tires in there,
Okay.
so, yeah, it's not gonna succeed that.
And we're gonna put it on the
Yeah, we,
tax bill anyway, so, you know, I say, you know, whatever motion you need as far as, you know, authorizing you to just take care of it and get a resolution for the neighbors over there.
Yeah, let's,
Get it done.
let's say up to $10,000. I mean, hopefully it won't come to that. And,
Right.
So Justin,
I'll move, yeah, move to authorize trustee O'Neill to work with Rick and get it, well, as long as you get approval from the property
Yeah, I'm not
owner,
gonna-
as long as he's agreeable to
Right,
do it.
right.
So that,
I mean, going in and get the trash, I don't think he was at all, because we're still under kind of the same umbrella as we were last time.
right, but it
Altering the
goes,
driveway would be a different.
Right.
altering the driveway, and it's like we talked, like you guys talked about the last time, if you get him to agree to it, it's far better solution than just saying, we had the authority to do it, you know? We have the authority and his authorization, so.
Right.
Yep.
I'll second that. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's the same situation on the Spencer Road property. I forget, I think their last name was Hughes, it's the one we talked about.
But
They
is
paid
it?
their taxes too.
They did?
Well, not the same exact situation. They paid the taxes. We don't have any authority right now to go.
Right.
It would have to go through the public nuisance hearing first, but they did pay their taxes, so it's,
Have we had contact with the property owner over there
I
at all?
have not. I spoke with another property owner in the area. They were gonna try to talk with them and then get
Okay.
me to. and
I say,
then
I may have somebody that knows,
If
and
you-
can get us in contact as well,
if
so I'll
you
see what
do.
I can do to reach out as well, because that's another one where it's obviously going to become an issue at some point
Yeah.
that we have to address, so
It's a
if it's
matter of
something that we
time.
can, if we can get in front of it,
Yeah.
then the better, okay.
What property are you talking about just now?
There's a home on Spencer Lake Road,
Probably.
it's
Five-
all
5 or 6,000.
internal.
yeah.
It's internal, but the house is uninhabitable, and there was a welfare check that, you know, the resident was removed. It's unsafe to live. As of right now, there's nothing, you know, we don't have any real authority to do anything or necessarily a need to, but the longer you let a situation like that go,
Right.
the worse it gets,
What
so.
about the one on Chippewa Road? You've had to have seen it.
Yeah, yeah, that was the one we were talking
We
about
talked
earlier
that
today.
during zoning.
So that would have to go through a similar type process where we have a hearing.
Because there's a tent in the
yes.
backyard now, and you're seeing ruts going around. And I didn't know if,
Yeah, it's on the radar, we're working on it.
on the radar.
Yep.
Chief Holzman, did you have anything? You had your hand up earlier.
No, it's Angie.
Okay. All right, then, unless you guys have anything else, I would make the motion to pay the warrants of the township and adjourn.
I will second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye? Meeting adjourned. Is 8:23.
Not bad for as much time as we had tonight.
You seconded it?
Yeah, yeah.